Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
A 16-year-old Ferndale girl abducted at gunpoint. 2 adults, a man and woman, in custody facing multiple charges. What we're learning about this awful case.
An elderly couple killed inside their own home. What we're learning at this hour, state police have taken someone into custody.
Not guilty. After 4 days of deliberation, a jury in Wisconsin has acquitted Kyle Rittenhouse of all the charges against him.
We're going to begin here at 5, though, with a new and yet again alarming rise of cases of COVID-19 in Michigan. Nearly 18,000 new cases over the past 2 days, averaging out to 8,900 cases a day. So that is close to a record level during the pandemic. 128 more deaths also being reported, including 71 from a vital records review.
You can see the startling rise clearly with the 7-day moving average here. 3 weeks ago, we were averaging 4,100 cases per day, and look where it is today, all the way up to 7,600 cases per day.
And with cases spiking, state health officials are urging everyone now to wear masks at indoor gatherings regardless of your vaccine status.
Rod Maloney live in Auburn Hills tonight. And Rod, this comes, just as we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, less than a week away.
That's right. Elizabeth Hertel, the head of MDHHS, said we've backslid here in Michigan. If you've allowed your mask supply to go short or your hand sanitizer to run low, she says you need to stock up and start using this. And now it's spreading all across the state in terms of making sure this happens.
Everyone over the age of 2 should wear a face mask at indoor gatherings, regardless of their vaccination status. In addition, establishments should implement policies to ensure that people entering or seeking services, including employees, are wearing masks.
When it comes to Thanksgiving next week, Hertel is advising Michiganders to consider having dinner outdoors or opening the windows to increase circulation. The state's new chief medical officer, Dr. Natasha Bagdasarian, says that this COVID spike we're seeing, rivaling the one we saw this time last year, comes right out of the classroom.
What we saw was a rise in cases when schools reopened. That rise in cases was predominantly in 5 to 18-year-olds, so school-age children. They led the surge, and then there was spillover into other age groups. All of those children are coming home from school to families.
She also claimed getting the booster is vital, citing these statistics. 72% of hospitalizations, 73% of COVID cases, and 76% of deaths right now are attributable to the unvaccinated. So it's a full court press to move Michigan back to its more restrictive mitigation policies without the actual mandate. And Hertel and Bagdasarian turned to Pastor Tellis Chapman of the Galilee Baptist Church in Detroit for one last plea.
This is not a political issue. It is a matter of life and death. It is not a religious issue. It's not a First Amendment right issue.
Now, Hertel was careful to say, look, she understands that this is all getting old, that people are getting tired of this, but she believes, as things stand now, the way the numbers are, that we're going to be fighting this COVID problem at least for the next 4 months. Back to you.
Rod, what are they saying about the mask advisory in terms of what it's going to mean to businesses?
Yeah, there are businesses out there. It perked their ears up today when this came out, and coming up on Local 4 News at 6, we're going to hear from one local business person for his opinion.
Okay, we look forward to that. We'll see you then, Rod. Thanks. Now, on the vaccine front, all vaccinated adults who want a boost of protection will soon have that opportunity.
Just this afternoon, the CDC's advisory panel voted in favor of supporting a booster dose for all adults. That's regardless of age, medical conditions, or exposure risk. The decision comes as there's growing evidence that the vaccine's protection does decrease over time.
There are 11 yeses and 0 noes, and vote number 1 passes.
A resounding show of support for offering all adults a booster and hope that simplifying the recommendations will reduce confusion. While 31 million Americans have already received a booster, 4 out of 10 aren't sure if they're even eligible.
Our concern is that eligible individuals are not receiving boosters right now because of this confusion, and as a result, not enjoying the various benefits that have been discussed today.
The panel of outside experts also voted in favor of strengthening the recommendations for those age 50 and over, saying they should receive a booster because the benefits clearly outweigh the risks. But They left younger adults in the may receive a booster category, acknowledging that younger individuals do face a higher risk of rare complications, including myocarditis.
It does make sense, and it is reasonable at this time for us to facilitate an individual being able to make the decision, the choice of benefit versus risk.
The chair of the panel closed by saying new data will continue to drive changes in recommendations, and diverse opinions should be heard.
During a pandemic, both speed and process are incredibly important, and ensuring that the public can understand the rationale behind any recommendation is critical for ongoing public trust.
The CDC director still has to give her stamp of approval, but that's expected to happen pretty quickly. So that means booster eligibility for all adults could begin this weekend. We'll stay on it. All right, now, disturbing new information we're learning about the kidnapping of a Ferndale high school student.
Police and the FBI say the 16-year-old was pumping gas when a couple approached her and forced her back into her car at gunpoint. Sean Lay is live tonight. And Sean, she was held captive for hours.
5 hours. Torture, absolutely horrible situation. No bond right now for this man, Khalil Floyd, accused of torturing this young girl and sexually assaulting her. His girlfriend, Jessica Quick, $1 million bond for her tonight, accused of helping Floyd commit these crimes all along the way. Again, 5 hours here, the FBI and Ferndale police, they were able to rescue this girl. Here's how it happened. Here are the details really every parent needs to hear. Wednesday morning, a 16-year-old Ferndale high school girl was getting gas at this Sunoco at Pinecrest and 8 Mile. An undercover detective says 44-year-old Khalil Floyd from Ferndale abducted the girl at gunpoint.
Floyd took victim 1 to his home on Grayson Street in the city of Ferndale, where they met with the second suspect, Jessica Quick.
Police say Floyd's girlfriend, Jessica Quick, got involved by driving the girl's car back to the gas station while Floyd sexually assaulted the girl in a shed after restraining her.
Floyd confessed to taking victim 1 to the shed and restraining her ankles and wrists, as well as blindfolding her and putting something over her mouth.
Later, police say Floyd was driving the girl's car. Her friends and her mother were out looking for her and spotted the car. Police say Floyd robbed a friend of her cell phone. Police were called, the FBI joining the frantic search. Floyd allegedly took the girl to Farmington Hills to continue the nightmare assault. Police say Quick was warning Floyd police were tracking him, and he was finally caught. Police and the FBI saying the girl's friends are heroes for calling the girl's parents when she didn't show up for class.
We would like to take this opportunity to shine a light on the quick thinking and acting by this young woman's friends and family. Her friends were aware of her whereabouts. They suspected right away that something had happened, and they knew to be concerned. They were looking out for her safety.
Police and the FBI tell us that girl is getting all the support she needs right now and is with her family. Floyd, let's get back to him. 18 felonies, all carry life sentences. Police say he admitted to them. Prosecutors say that as well. Felonies carry life sentences here. Sex crimes, torture crimes, kidnapping crimes, gun crimes. We are told he also has a child sex conviction. He's on bond right now for a breaking and entering. He is working as an Uber driver and an Amazon driver. Quick was working as a child therapist. We're live in Ferndale tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4.
So much disturbing information coming out of this, my goodness. Sean, we appreciate it.
Got some really nice weather to start the weekend. It's going to stay that way for part of it.
Part of it. Let's get over to Andrew for a look at what's headed our way. Hi, Andrew.
Kimberly and Devin, good to see you both. And that first part of the weekend is the part where it remains dry. But then we have wetter conditions for the second half of our weekend. But let's talk about the good news we have right now. It is still dry out there. Yes, it is chilly. 38 right now over in Pontiac, while we're now down to 40 degrees after high temperatures in the low 40s right here in Detroit. 39 over at Metro Airport, a wind chill right around freezing. And we have a tree lighting ceremony this evening. So bundle up because temperatures continue to fall through the 30s. Wind chills will be around freezing if the wind picks up any bit. Tree lighting actually happens just after 7, but festivities have already started, folks, and we'll still see dry conditions during the entire time from now up until midnight. but afterward it gets even colder. We'll talk about that and that chance of showers for at least the second half of our weekend. And of course, your 7-day forecast into Thanksgiving coming up.
Kyle Rittenhouse dropped to his knees today in court as the jury read the final not guilty verdict in the case against him. Teenager shot and killed 2 people and wounded a third, but he's a free man tonight. Jay Gray is in Kenosha with the latest.
Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
5 times.
Not guilty.
The court clerk reads aloud.
Not guilty.
The jury's verdict.
Not guilty.
Kyle Rittenhouse breaking down as he's cleared of all 5 charges after killing 2 protesters and wounding a third during a march in Kenosha.
He wishes none of this would have ever happened. But as he said when he testified, he did not start this. And we're thankful in more ways than one.
This town, more than a year later, is still tense.
People have a right, the Second Amendment, I'm a veteran, people have a right to carry, to defend themselves.
And still divided after today's decision.
There's no way that you can justify in the streets of America that an individual can carry an automatic weapon, an AR-15, and shoot and kill anybody under any reason.
As the crowds continue to build around the courthouse, so does the police presence here. There are about 500 National Guard soldiers on the ground and on standby if needed. To this point, fortunately, they have not been. There have been no serious issues here. Jay Gray, NBC News, Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Okay, Jay, we've got a lot more to come here on a Friday. Let's check in with Hank.
I feel like I'm in a third world country in the United States. It's crazy.
Help Me Hank coming to the rescue. People living in unlivable conditions.
Also, a major step forward for President Biden's $1.7 trillion social spending bill. What has to happen next before it can get to the president's desk? Megan.
State police are investigating a double homicide that happened right here in this home.
Today it's very frightening and very saddening to know that this could happen.
Coming up tonight, we tell you what their investigation led to and what neighbors have to say.